guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Well, our favorite urinalist and Trainwreck, Jana Hawking, a quote-unquote dating coach, is furious that men are calling her out on her BS. If you guys watch me on a regular basis, you know I'm not much of a shock jock. Like, I don't just say outlandish things. I'm almost always reading an article or we're reviewing video of other people. And that way, when people that, I don't know, hate what I do or hate our talking points come after us, we say, look, like, I guess I better point this way. Look, here's all the evidence. It's coming out of women's mouths. It's coming out of newspapers. It's coming out of quote unquote, legitimate sources other than me. And so really, in many ways, that takes, when I make an opinion, it's an opinion based on what I've actually read and what we're covering. And I think that's why a lot of you guys appreciate what I do. I don't just come out here and say, this person's that, and start throwing, sand at the problem or start calling names. So Jana Hawking decides to do an article on myself and a couple of other people, which is fine. I don't care. I appreciate the publicity. But the problem is it also shows that she doesn't listen to what I actually do and what we as men in this, realm talk about. So many times women will come out to us and they say, men are pigs. And we say, well, not all men. They say, well, yeah, pretty much all men. Well, let's break that down for a second. There's a large portion of men that are invisible. They're not in the dating market. They just go about their daily tasks, or maybe they are dating and they just don't, they don't get involved with anything. They're not pigs. Then you got the guys that are, I would say, involuntarily unable to sleep with women. Some of them are fine. Some of them are just like, whatever, I'm going to do my own thing and I'll be happy in life. And then, yes, there are some other groups of men that are very angry and blame women for only sleeping with popular guys or good-looking guys or rich guys. And they can take it out on women. There's no arguments there. Then there's the guys that are dating, but they agree that the world is swinging in a feminist movement and pointing all the fingers at men for the problems of the world. They don't agree with that stuff. They're not toxic or bad or whatever. They just realize, hey, the game's kind of rigged against us a little bit. I'm unhappy with that, and I'm keeping my radar on, and I enjoy this kind of contact. There's the married people, and I've had many quotes from guys, many comments on my videos from married guys saying like, hey, I enjoy your content. I don't exactly agree with all of it because I found a good one and I'm doing okay. But I still like the content. Then you've got the divorce guys. And usually those are the guys who are like, yep, got ran through the court. I tried my best, tried to do everything I could to make the situation work. Didn't work out. And I got ruined by the courts. There's a large segment of men there. And really the ones that most women are referring to when they say men are pigs are the guys that can't be with women and desperately want to, so they're angry about it. And they're talking about, the Chad Thunderstroke that they sleep with on the first date and then wonder why he doesn't call back and then ghosts her for another girl. Well, I try to tackle both of those groups because the rest of people are just kind of like, whatever, I'm doing my thing. And those two groups are the ones I think that need the most help, which is A, don't be angry. Just understand the world is the way it is. Don't fight with them. Just move along. And B, I don't know if I said one, A and B. And B, if you're one of those guys that's sleeping around and doing your thing, they're probably going to keep doing their thing. So ladies, if you're listening to this content or you're aware of this stuff, stop giving it up on the first date. Secure the relationship before the bedroom. That's a good way to find a man. So putting all that down, there's very small population of men that are actually pigs. But Jana likes to group them all into categories. That's usually what leftists do. They can't look at anybody on an individual basis. They have to look at people as groups, which is why if somebody says, I believe in feminism and here's the reasons why I think so, I'm not automatically thinking they're a horrible person. I might have a debate with them. I might tell them all the reasons why feminism is failing women and is great for single guys that are dating around, but I like to have a discussion about it. What Jana likes to do is take little tiny clips, make up something out of whole cloth, and then decide to run a story on it. So from Jana Hawking, I've discovered a secret group. Okay, now remember this phrase, secret group of disturbed men who prey on vulnerable single women. Here are the slimy tactics they use to break hearts. Now, is this about red pill community? About dating? No. Is this about pickup guys? No. It's about guys going their own way and guys calling out feminism. Kind of ironic on that one. Let me zoom this in a little bit so maybe you can see just a little bit better. Now remember, it's a secret group of disturbed men. So the minute you start calling out things but we'll talk about that later. Just when you thought the dating world had surely reached its peak toxicity, along comes a group of men who want to vindictively blow up dating altogether. Why? Because they're upset we women won't sleep with them. First point, wrong. Now, yes, again, that small group of men that are involuntarily celibate, yes, they are very upset. The divorced guys, no. The married guys, no. The single guys doing their own thing, nope. Guys with girlfriends, nope. The Chad guys, nope. The blue pill guys, maybe, but they don't. They're more looking trying to get married. And so, who's the group she's talking about? A tiny, tiny sliver. A tiny sliver. And even that sliver, a lot of times, if you ask them, it's not because women won't sleep with them. It's because women won't date them. They can go out and hire a professional like anybody else can. But that's not necessarily what they want. What they want is they want a girlfriend. And they want a relationship. And they want somebody that loves them. But they can't get that. And so they're very frustrated and angry about it. In many ways, I understand that. But again, until these guys understand the way of the new world, and they're going to have to put some effort in, maybe lifting some weights and maybe shaving off a neck beard or two, learning how to talk to people and getting some better dental hygiene and cleaning up a little bit. But again, not all of them are like that. Some people are just born unattractive. And it used to be back in the day that if a guy was relatively unattractive, but he could make a good earning and was a good man, he'd at least find a wife. Maybe she wouldn't be the best selection, but at least he could have a wife and family. Today, men don't even get that opportunity. So again, she automatically makes the assumption that it's just because men won't sleep with her or women. And again, that's a very, very small, but vocal, but small sliver on the corners of the internet. She said this would be slightly hilarious if these men's intentions weren't so evil and frankly dangerous. They call themselves incels who are involuntarily celibate. Now she's calling us evil and dangerous. And when I say we, I mean certain segments of men. Is a man that's so miserable and unhappy that no woman will look his way and give him a chance in the world, and so he decides to get bitter about it, is that evil? I don't think so. Is it disenfranchised? Is it mad? Is it frustrated? I think so. Is it dangerous? Yes, there have been a couple of people that went a little la-la land and went out there and did some destructive things. But in the, 9 billion people on the earth, 4.5 billion that are men, and 125 million or so here in the United States, and you can find one or two guys that fell off the cart and decided to go loco. That's all of a sudden a large group. See, and this is what they do. They use a couple of rare instances, but then when the feminists do something crazy and you call them out, they go, well, that's just one person. And because they have the mainstream captured, they're allowed to do so. For a long time on Twitter, it's the the Kilo India Lima. That Kilo India Lima, if you know how to spell, you get me phonetically. The End All Men ran on Twitter with hashtag, and it had hundreds of thousands of views and likes and comments. It trended on Twitter. If you type that about women, not only are you off there, but you're probably having somebody knock on your door to have a talk to you. This is the double standard. And anytime a man calls something out or pushes back the least little bit, they take these words, toxic, evil, dangerous, and they come after you. Now, that's not going to stop what we do, but understand that this is something that women do, politicians do, and governments do. They use buzzwords and clicky things. That's why there was an investigation into men's spaces going after the Andrew Tates and the the Rollo Tomasis and I can't think of some other, the Fresh and Fits, going after those groups specifically by and it was, I think it was, I didn't pull up the article, but it was a report that was done where the government's now looking into men's groups. Why? Because we must be controlled. We must be shut down. We must be shut up because we're pushing back against the agenda that they want, the agenda that will eventually run everything into the ground. She says they're becoming so popular amongst the male community, they've been included in the Oxford Dictionary as members of an online community of men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually. They're typically associated with views that are hostile towards women who are sexually active. Now, yes, again, they can have hostile views. But have you gone to places on Reddit like Female Dating Strategy? Have you gone to some of these other sites where women are sharing stories of how to find a great guy and trick him into loving you and withholding the bedroom from him so you can convince him you're a good woman? And then she turns around in the meantime and she's got 2 or 3 guys on the backside she's shagging. I'm pretty sure if a guy had that strategy of, hey guys, promise yourself to a wife, promise yourself and find yourself a wife, but until you're married, understand you can be sleeping with other women behind the backside so you can fool her. And the ironic thing is, the irony, Jana's done this herself, and I'm going to even call her out on it. So there are plenty of poisonous sites, both on for women and against women and feminism, and I just forgot, I forgot to zoom up my camera here, for women and for men, but the difference is only the women are allowed to have their opinions. Because if the man has the same opinion, he's toxic, he's poisonous. It must, that's a little better. It must always go her way. I'm sorry to do this in the middle of the video. I just realized I was 4 miles away from the camera. That doesn't work out very well. It only goes one way. She says they're becoming so popular. Okay, I read that. Basically, they blame women in society for their lack of romantic success, and their ideology is rooted in the belief that women have too much power in the sexual sphere and therefore ruining their lives by rejecting them. Okay, let's break that down a little bit. Well, it's fair to blame women and society for their lack of romantic success when the main lesson from being taught to women today is don't settle for less, only take the best, only get the best guys, only get, he needs to make 6 figures a year. He's got to have a great education. He's got to be popular. He's got to be powerful. He's got to be in shape. He's got to be 6 feet tall. He's got to be good looking. Now, how can I just remember that all off my head? Because it's the same thing you see on all the dating profiles. And then men feel like I'm not even given a chance. And what's doing this to society? Feminism is. The social media, movies saying women are great and men are stupid. Women are awesome. Women never settle for less. Men are just toxic and they're bothersome and use them and then discard them aside. Sure, those men are going to get pretty upset. Now, at no point have I ever said, okay, guys, dogpile on this person. Go attack this person. No, what I tell you is don't get angry about it. Don't waste your energy fighting with them. Because like many times, narcissists and crazy people, you don't get in the mud with pigs because they like the fight. Or you don't fight with pigs in the mud because they like to fight. Just ignore them. Find guys, find friends, find hobbies. But she'd have to listen to the content to understand that. She would just rather grab a couple of thumbnails and a couple of little blurbs about things and then go on offense. And that's what she does, like most. So what happens ultimately is when we say we don't like these things about society, we don't like the things that you're doing to men, we do not agree with this, and we no longer wish to participate, they turn around and they go, see, you're toxic, you're angry, you're bitter, you're misogynistic. It's like, no. Yeah, there's some, sure. But you're missing the overall point of what men are complaining about. And then they just go about their day, starting their OnlyFools page and having body counts in triple digits. And then when they turn around at the tender age of 39, like Jana is, and say, why don't I have a full-time boyfriend? Why won't anybody love me? Why do people just want to sleep with me? Because you're only sleeping with the guys that want to sleep you and then move on. Ironically, my advice is, hey, stop doing the OnlyFools. Stop sleeping with every dude that you find hot, and maybe make one commit to you and be a boyfriend before he sleeps with you. Maybe stop looking at the men that are, 6 foot and have all the choices in the world, and find a guy that's maybe closer to your level, and you'll find happiness. And what do they do when they hear that? Well, you're toxic. How dare you tell me? Wait, let me get my.
How dare you?
How dare you tell me to change my ways? I want what I want. Well, okay, then you're going to get the results. It's funny that my advice, and I talk about me specifically because I can't speak about all channels. My advice is to guys is to don't worry about these women. Like, have a good life without them. And my advice to women is stop sleeping around, stop acting the fool, and be a good girlfriend and get a guy, then make sure he's the right guy for you, then sleep with him, then start a relationship. And women are like, are you crazy? That means we can't sleep with Chad Thunderstroke. What's wrong with you? Okay, good luck to you. She continues on. She says, sounds bonkers, right? Surely it would have nothing to do with their sweaty, creepy, negative nature. It is us women. We are the problem because we choose to say no thanks rather than get nude for them. Well, let's continue on with the ad hominem attack, shall we? She's targeting those tiny slivers of the pie population and then relating that to, again, a much larger group of men. So we never say women are the problem because you say no thanks. I've never said women are a problem. I've never said much derogatory about women other than their choices are poor, other than they don't take accountability for their bad actions. If a woman wants to put her spicy content out on OnlyFools, I don't say it should be taken down. I should say, great. But remember that that's the end forever, and guys are not going to want to wife you up. When women say, I want to sleep with everybody, okay, but no one's going to want you for a long-term partner and see you as quality because you've shared really what should be the most intimate and most important feature of a woman, which is, her chastity and her devotion to one man, and you've given it free to hundreds. So she doesn't have value. Then they always come back to us, but I'm smart and I'm educated and I'm intelligent and I make good money. Yeah, men don't get any of that. That doesn't help a man in any single way. That's what women want from men. They assume that's what we want from women, and it's not. But if I say that out loud as a man and, not representative, but I've got 500,000 people that are subscribed to me that say, I kind of agree with some of your views. Like, yeah, let's have a talk about this. All of a sudden, we're the bad guys just by trying to tell you, like, this is the way we think. And if you don't listen to us, fine, do your thing. But you're going to suffer later on. And I've got hundreds of videos like that of women saying, I missed my best years. I screwed up. So I'm trying to read from people in the future, come back to a younger generation and say, guys, here's what's going on. Ladies, here's what's going on. It's just a warning. Now, shut up. How dare we, she says. Yeah, how dare you? Good luck to you. And what's my evidence of this with Jana? She's 39. She said multiple times, I can't seem to find, a long-term, or the people that I date keep dumping me, or it didn't work out after a weekend of, like, sleeping with each other and going out and partying. Gee, what's going on? We'll get to more of her content here in a moment. She says they even have an online forum called incels.is, where they vent about their anger and hatred towards women and brag about the very dark things they've done to get revenge. Why is it on incels.is? Why is it on that website instead of Reddit, instead of Facebook, instead of Twitter, instead of YouTube? Because it's been removed. It's being kicked out of mainstream society because they're a problematic group. So why is it then that you have to dig that out when I can look? Here's a DuckDuckGo search. Feminism. Our International Women's Day celebrate feminism as a breath of fresh air. 20 feminist gift ideas. Feminism should be celebrated. Feminist gift ideas. 50 celebrating feminism. The waves of feminism. Feminism's uncelebrated weapon. Let's check in on men, shall we? The problem with the term toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity. Real problem with toxic masculinity. What's problematic about masculines? Talking about toxic masculinity. The dangerous effects of toxic masculinity. who's really the one spitting all the hate? You know, feminism attacks men. They attack patriarchy. We're toxic. We're not emotional enough. We're strong. We're stoic. They represent men poorly for years on TV. And the minute guys say, wait a minute, but what about women? They're doing this too. Shut them down. Shut that group down. They're hateful. They're blah, blah. They're isms. They're phobes. They're blah, 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 blah. But women have been doing this for years. And they've been getting away with it. Now, does that mean that I think something bad should happen to all of them? No, of course not. Please continue on what you're doing until you grind relationships, marriages, divorce, children, society, friendships, the economy, grind it all to dust. I think a lot of guys will be a lot better off than the women. Because again, as the famous meme goes, women think they're going to be, what's the movie there? The Mockingbird, whatever it is. I don't watch that stuff. They think they're going to be, warriors fighting for the next generation. In the meantime, they're all turning to only fools and doing crazy stuff out there and sugar sites so they can earn a paycheck and pay off their colleges. I know who's going to survive and who's not. And I mean, the collapse and everything else. It's not going to be women. It's going to be men. I mean, there's plenty of out there to prove it. So she had to go to the corners of the web and do some research to find the guys actually talking negatively about women. But to find that about men, I can go to Twitter and just type men bad, feminism, whatever, and it's right there on the mainstream. It's allowed. You have to go to the dark corners of the web to find the men. Why is that? She says this revenge is called Chad fishing and involves setting up fake online dating profiles posing as a Chad, a conveniently attractive male, to lure women in. Once they've matched up on the app, they will set up dates, get the women to take expensive Uber rides, tell them they've gone to the wrong location, and watch as they rush to meet them somewhere else before blocking them. It's truly toxic and cruel. Let's go back here now for a second. Chad fishing. Fake online dating profiles, conventional male to lure women in. They will set up dates, get the women to take expensive Uber rides, wrong location. It's truly toxic and cruel. Okay, so Jana's above that. Women are above that, you see. They would never, ever deceitfully do something against men. From the Daily Mail, Jana Hocking. The evil way women are tricking their men into cheating. It makes me feel a little dirty, but I've been doing it for months. Jana Hocking's noticed a rise in honey trapping. I came across this trickery one night when I was scrolling my current obsession, a Facebook page called Sis, Is This Your Man? Now, what they do is they go out and they try to get other women to get guys to talk to them, married guys, men with girlfriends, and they try to trick them into talking with them or finding them on dating apps cheating. And then what do? They share all this information so they can not only catch these men, but to out them. Well, this doesn't sound all above board. Jana herself says it's evil and it's tricking men. But it's okay when the ladies do it, but not when the men do it to get revenge. What's the difference? Honest question, what's the difference, Jana? You're so high and mighty. You're so above the riffraff and evil men. You would never do something like this. This is toxic. But you did the same thing in a different way. And you know what? This is good. It's finding cheating men. It's still tricking people and lying. And I'm not saying what they do is right. I'm not saying that this is right. But the whole point is, ladies are doing the same silly crap that the men are. But you notice they never mentioned the other side of this stuff. Watch this. Hey, Jana, what these guys are doing, I actually think's wrong. I don't think you should put a fake profile up and trick women into go somewhere. I don't think that's right. I can take the high road. But when you find out people have been honey trapping and stuff, she says, makes me feel a little dirty, but I've been doing it for months. So you didn't take the high road. You didn't call it out. You did it. Oh, you're such a paragon of goodness. You're so much better, Jana. Thanks for calling it out. She goes on, some of the stories on the forum are so disturbing, I can't even list them here. That's usually, yeah, there's probably a couple bad ones out there, but that's something that oftentimes people will say when they can't find something that exactly lines up with the narrative that they're trying to paint. Sadly, being a female and gasp, having a dating column that talks openly and honestly about all things dating and sex, I have long been a target for men like this. Good Lord, nothing angers an incel who can't get laid quite like a woman documenting her fun adventures doing exactly that. Yeah, that probably would disturb men that have no life and want to get women, and they see you, again, most women's highest form of gift to a man would be sleeping with him in a traditional world. But when you give that away to all these guys for doing the absolute minimum, just showing up, looking attractive, buying you 2 drinks, and then you say, well, and then we spent the weekend together and he blew my back out, and then we never talked again because he was a horrible guy. Those guys look and they say, but I'm not a horrible guy. Now, they may get there, but they say, I'm not a horrible guy. I'm just a regular guy. I may not be conventionally attractive, but I've got hobbies. I mean, I understand maybe the girlfriend I get might not be conventionally attractive. I'm a 3. I'd be okay with a 3. I'd like someone to love, though, and I'd like someone to date. And so they, over time, see women like Jana and other women just sleeping with men and sleeping with men and sleeping with men and saying it didn't work out, they're toxic, they're bad, they're users, they ghosted me, they do all the bad things to me. And these guys say, yeah, but what about us? We're willing to be kind. We're willing to date you. We're willing to give you a good life. And women, time after time, for the longest of times now, probably a decade, have said, no, you're ugly. You don't make enough money. You're not this. You're not that. And so, yeah, eventually these guys get bitter. And what's ironic is if you want to find the same group that are women, go to women that are in their 40s. And what are they talking about? The men I want don't want me. Why these men that want to, 40-year-old men that want to just be with 25-year-olds or 50-year-old like Leonardo DiCaprio? They're toxic. They're bad. They're evil. No, it's just you're butthurt. And why are you butthurt? Because you're not getting what you want. The same 2 groups of people. You got the young guys that are very disenfranchised with dating because they've never been given a shot. And you got the older ladies that have had every opportunity in the world and they squandered it. They're both equally angry. Only one of them is dangerous. Only one of them should we watch out for in society. No one seems to talk about all these angry women. Why? Because now they're feminists and they try to write laws and run for governments and run HR departments and then turn around and punish men. It's fine if that happens, you see. I would go so far as to say the Karens in HR do more damage to men in society than these young guys that are disenfranchised yelling at each other on the internet. She says, the first time it happened to me was early 2019 when I first began writing about my single shenanigans. A man with a large following on Instagram started writing vile messages under my posts and in my DMs. When I looked at his Instagram profile, I discovered he was popular because of the vile ways he targeted women. He would share screenshots of his horrific messages to female celebrities and influencers, taunting them endlessly. His audience clearly got enough of it. So gross. I had a podcast and decided to ask him to come on it as a guest to share with my audience why he loves trolling women. He agreed and gave me a phone number to call him alongside a request to show me your chesticles. Charming. I called the number and surprise, wasn't a real phone number, so I decided to block him and get on with my life. Well, that was the plan anyway. What he did next was dark and deeply spiteful. Okay, let's pause here. Number 1, I will give her credit. Obviously, this guy was trolling her, and instead of just blocking, she said, hey, you know what? This might be an article. Maybe we can have a discussion about this. And he trolled her, and then she blocked her. I'll give her props for at least reaching out and saying, hey, this might be content. Maybe I can get something out of this. Maybe we can find something to talk about. This might be interesting. And he trolled her. So she blocked him. But, when you're celebrity, when you're someone on the internet, and I know because I'm on Twitter, and I have plenty of people that literally have told me to end myself, you're going to get stuff that it's part of the, And I'll go so far as to say this. I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should go harass people. It doesn't further anything. If anything, I think it makes you look cringe. It makes you look try hard. It makes you look like an idiot for going through all the effort to go through to just spam something on someone's page. And lastly, it gives them the ammunition they want to call you all the bad things and say that you're crazy and dangerous. I, on the other hand, think you should have either just ignore them or have a discussion about the topic. But that's how I see things. I'm also called blue pill by some communities for being so soft with my ideals because apparently I won't hate them. This lingered for about a week before I obviously found some other poor female to harass, and the Wat-Wats eventually stopped clogging my feed. Okay, is that a story? Like, move on. Now, if you remember, I did this video. Jana. Post-wall, no eggs. Jana Hocking wants $2,000 to sleep with her. Now, this story was about Jana Hocking saying, I'm going to require a man to pay me $2,000 worth of dates. In other words, you need to take me out to dinner and movies and, different events, and you need to spend $2,000 on dates before I'm going to sleep with you. That's her way of making a guy work a little bit. 3 weeks after this, she explained she met a guy, played a board game with him, and after spending a few days together and sleeping with each other, they both agreed, it's not you, it's me. Your own rules you broke within 3 weeks. You come up with this ridiculousness stuff, and you don't expect channels like mine to call you out on it? This is what's wrong with dating. You're laying right in my lap, here's everything wrong with dating. Instead of saying, let's make a man wait, let me get to know him a little bit. Let me see if he's being sincere. Let me see if he's a guy I actually want to sleep with, or if he's just hot, but he's a toxic male. Instead of doing that, you come out with this. And what did I do? Did I call her ugly? Did I call her evil? Did I call her malicious? Did I call her dangerous? Did I call her problematic? No, none of that stuff. I just argued, here's why you're single. Here's why you come out with one thing and then do the opposite. I called you out on your hypocrisy and your lack of accountability. And now that makes me the bad guy? Now remember, wait a minute. Remember, the secret group. So the secret group of disturbed men is incel.is, I'm guessing. But this is the whole headline. So I'm guessing that doesn't, you're not calling that about me, because obviously she says right here, the video has 475,000 views and 19,000 likes. So obviously I'm not a secret group. Why? Because it's an opinion article. It's not creepy. It's not dangerous. It's not weird. I'm not hating on women. I'm just calling you out for your double standards. I'm not doing anything out of malice or spite. I'm trying to tell you your own problems with your dating, and because you're 39 with a triple-digit body count, and then wonder why you can't get a boyfriend. And then we say, well, guys, here's your problem. No, oh, you evil, hateful men, you misogynists. Okay, good luck to you. You're doing a great job. She said, there's this creepy bald guy in America. Creepy. You notice that? See, she doesn't agree with me. Creepy. Did I ever call Jana stupid? Nope. Did I ever call her creepy? Nope. Did I ever call her, I don't know, all the names we have for women that are a little bit promiscuous? Nope, never called her that. I never called you a name once, Jana. Who's really taking the low road? I argue facts and your own words against you. You take the low roads with the ad hominems. So who's really on the high road on this one? You or me? She says, this creepy bald guy in America who has 500,000 followers on his YouTube channel who dissects my articles each week. Nope, I think I've probably done 6 of them. I don't have to dissect each one because most of them really don't have to do a lot of times with my content. But when you're talking about dating, relationships, giving advice to women, and then being 39 and how you can't find no man, but you also just slept with a guy the previous weekend and the week before and the week before, yeah, I'm going to make fun of you. Because I'm going to tell you why you can't find a man, and then you're going to turn around and hate me for it, and hate the community, and hate all of us guys that mention the same thing. Chef's kiss. Great, great job, Jana. He gives these videos titles such as Dating Expert. Jana Hocking shows why women are shocked when they hit the wall. Jana, you're 39. You're still single. You don't have much longer left. I'm just saying, because your value right off the table. His videos are so factually incorrect on so many levels. But it's the no eggs part that I find so shocking. Jana, how is it factually incorrect? I actually bring data to the table like I'm going to do right about now. All right, here you go, Jana. This is from CCRMIVF, which is a fertility clinic. Chances of getting pregnant by age chart. Women start out at the age of 25 with a baseline of 25. Now, they didn't go lower than this because probably women aren't established in their lives and ready to have kids yet. By the tender age of 40, it's 5%, or 1/5 what it was at the age of 25. That's pretty much where I get my statement from. So there you go. There's a factually. The man's favorite verbal dagger is to suggest I'm not fertile. No, that's not my favorite. That's not my favorite verbal dagger. My favorite verbal dagger is you slept with hundreds of men, and at the tender age of 39, you're still single and can't find no man. And then when we tell you, here's all the reasons why women get to this age and they can't find a man that will keep them, but they will find one that will sleep with them or date them for a couple of months to sleep with them, and then they leave. When we do that explanation, that's my favorite verbal dagger. So, sorry. Which would be deeply upsetting if I did want kids, but thankfully I don't. That's good because you can't have any, more than likely. And I can't wait. Jana Hocking, 55 years old. Why did all the men ignore me and not give me a chance, and why am I single? Then there's this particularly frightful-looking man. Do you notice how she's attacking creepy, bald, frightful-looking? You notice how everything she's actually shaming. She's body-shaming men. I can't control my hair. This guy can't control his face. You're literally doing what you accuse men of doing. You're body-shaming, Jana. You're shaming men based on their appearances. How high and mighty. What a high road you've taken, says the woman that does exactly what she complains about. He's attempting to gain notoriety. You mean he's putting out video? By dissecting my articles online, giving his followers deeply sexist commentary on why I'm making other women miserable. Well, you are if you're telling them lie, cheat, sleep with men, don't secure a relationship, and you call yourself a dating expert. So the realist here, which is Bachelor philosopher, he's got 7,000 followers, and he just started. He's a very relatively young channel. If somebody wrote, Andrew Tate is making other men miserable, are we going to call that out? Oh, sure, the mainstream media will do an article on it. But when somebody like this does it, well, this is problematic. It only goes one way. Women can criticize, women can be picky, women can call me bald or this guy creepy or sweaty or whatever else. But the moment you say, this woman, she has no eggs, she's getting old, look at the wrinkles, she's sagging, she's overweight, she's unattractive, then it's problematic. But it only goes one way, you see. Just like, well, these guys are making fake profiles to trick women when Jana does the same thing. Well, that's okay. It's completely different, guys, completely different. Stop it. You're evil. Spoiler, okay, this is my favorite part of the whole article. Spoiler alert, it's because I encourage healthy boundaries and respect in relationships. I know, terrible advice. Let's check in on Jana's respecting. Trick men into cheating. I feel dirty, but I've been doing it as well. How I found my boyfriend was cheating on me with multiple women, including one of my best friends. Oh, how did that happen? It sounds like you've got a great boyfriend. You're really selecting the top choice men. Jana Hocking, I told a young girlfriend to keep secret the 5-year affair she was having with a married man. Oh, well, why? Let's reverse that. Let's role play, Jana. Joker told a man, a young man, to keep his affair secret from his wife. And to keep doing it, it's fine. Oh, that's problematic. That you're telling men to cheat on their wives, their good, faithful, loving wives, just to go out and have some fun? You're Eve. Oh, wait, no, it's you that gives this advice. This is why someone like Bachelor philosopher and others like myself call you out. I told a young girlfriend to keep secret the 5-year affair. Oh, how high and mighty of you. You give great dating advice. Good for you, Jana. Good for you. The one thing these men all have in common is they get their minions, followers, to hunt me down on Instagram and send me the link to their videos so I can be taught a lesson. Hey, guys, raise your hand if you know I don't have an Instagram account. Raise your hand if you know I don't have a Facebook account. Raise your hand if in many videos you know I've said, don't bother going after these women, don't blast them, don't waste your time, they're not worth the breath. All right, so it's not me you're talking about, Jana. It's not Bachelor philosopher you're talking about. Who's she talking about? The very first dude. And see how she takes all these men's groups and everything, and balls it up into one little tight thing and say, all these men do this. Oh, that's the white power side. I got to be careful. All these men do this. All these men are the same. They're exactly the same. And they all hate you and they want to hurt you. All the same. This is what she does. Okay, Jana, you're a feminist. You got the go power thing. Should I put you all in the same bottle? I think you'd get very angry with that if I read something off female dating strategy. Actually, you might agree with it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I bet I could commingle you in because you're a woman. But this is the way they have to do it because they don't want reasoned discourse. She wouldn't come on my show and have a debate with me because she'd get trounced. So what does she do instead? Balls everybody up into one and say, oh, look, everybody's evil. Told you. Look, all these men, evil right there. Rather than pondering if perhaps they are the reason women don't want to sleep with them. No. They don't. We talk about this. Again, you can tell she doesn't watch any men's content. Rich Cooper, Rollo Tomasi, I don't know, other dating coaches out there. There's thousands of them on YouTube. She mingles them in with pickup artists. She mingles them with guys going their own way. She mingles them with the incel groups. She mingles them with the very, very angry guys that actually probably would be a detriment to society. And she goes, this is everybody. Everybody, guys. Instead, they choose to have man tantrums. So is this a man tantrum? I just want to ask. You're welcome to reply to me if you'd like to have a discussion. Links down below. We'll do a debate any day you choose. Bring friends. And decide their whole life of tearing women down. I've never torn women down right up until I got divorced the second time. One cheated on me, and the other one decided work was more important than me and developed over time into a crazy leftist with blue hair. Neither one of these things did I know ahead of time, or else obviously I wouldn't have married him. I've had friends self-delete because of what the divorce courts did to them. I've seen what dating has turned into. If you watch my videos, I've posted, I don't know, thousands, hundreds of TikTok videos of women saying it out of their own mouths. So we're not saying it's not necessarily us, but at no point do you women take accountability for yourselves either. Accountability in women. A fork in the road every single time. Because I'll tell you something, a lot of times when guys goof up, and you'll see it in my comments, oh man, I chose a bad one. She ran me through the ringer. I chose a bad one. I made a bad mistake. I got sucked in from that fun bedroom, and then after 3 months, she moved in with me, and then it went south. And what do the men say? Do they say, nope, I didn't make any mistakes. It's all the women's fault. No, the guys say, man, I chose poorly. I got sucked in. My bad. My bad, dude. Women can't do that. At no point does she reflect anywhere about anything I've ever said about her and say, here's their point, here's my point, let's have an argument about it. She does the same feminist thing they always do. Ball it up, say everybody's the same. She says it sounds exhausting, right? If you look at their YouTube channels, you'll quickly discover they are obsessed with it. Yes, because I do men's content, and I call out your rhetoric and your ridiculousness of it. There's a difference between obsession and a job. My job is to let men know, and the other content creators, they let men know that some of you are actually kind of crazy, that some of you are undateable, and what to look out for and what to avoid so they don't get caught. So, yeah. Is it an obsession? No, because my last video I think I put out was Thursday or Friday. I took the weekend off. I do many other things in my life. But this warning other men about what women are doing, about how they still can belong in society, how they can still be happy, still be loved, still have a meaningful life without women. Okay, I will say I'm obsessed with that. And what's more frightening is they got plenty of followers encouraging them to keep going. Yes, and you have plenty of simps and readers that encourage you to keep going and encourage you to keep doing your nonsense. You keep making the same mistake over and over again in dating, keep getting the same results, but then you have an interesting article to write about. Okay, you're no different. You're literally no different. Because if you said, I met a great man and I made him wait, and then we slept with each other, and now we're in love, and we got married, and now I have a family. Your days as a dating expert and all your crazy stories. I mean, I literally read your crazy stories to the guys that watch here. You're doing the same thing. You're leading a ridiculous life that you're obsessed apparently with sleeping with men without getting a commitment from them. And then you put it on dailymail.co.uk. And you've got plenty of followers to encourage you making your same mistakes. We are the same. We're just doing it for different reasons. Imagine if they spent that time in therapy, unpacking their issues, rather than letting it consume them. They could have shed the all-consuming hatred and probably learned how to talk to women, but that seems far too sensible. Let's rework that sentence, shall we, Jana? Imagine if Jana spent that time in therapy, unpacking her issues, rather than letting it consume her, where she sleeps with countless men without getting commitment or relationship. She feels used. She's hurt. She's angry at men. She calls them all sorts of names. And in the end, she's still knocking on 40 and she's alone and can't get a long-term relationship and says she's happy without a single man. This will continue until eventually men will just not even sleep with you because you've lost your beauty and your youth, and age will take over, and then the men you want don't want you anymore. So you could go therapy, you could fix your things, but that seems far too sensible, doesn't it, Jana? In the meantime, stay safe, ladies, because until the dating apps are up their security measures and start insisting people verify their profiles, we best have our wits about us. I could say the same thing about the men, from all the catfishing, from all the women that are using filters, that use makeup. You know, it used to be that when women took their profile photos, they'd take it here. Then it went to here, just to give that little lift to the neck, make the neck look a little bit tighter. Now it's here, then it went up to here, and now women are using a frickin' selfie stick, holding it 4 feet up in the air, looking straight up, and then zooming way in so you don't see their voluminous body. You women are the ones using all the filters. You women are the ones taking all the photos that are untrue. There's bots. There's scammers. Women are no better than men. The only difference is she takes such a small segment of men, paints every guy that's ever said anything negative about women or anything negative about feminism or anything negative about the dating market. She uses that brush and goes, whoop. See that? They're all dangerous. They're all the same. They're all the same as the guys on incel.is that are dangerous to you. Now, this is a clickbait article, honestly. But this is what she does. 7 comments. Is this all of them? Yes, this is literally 7 comments. Rubbish. She's totally right about this, and she looks beautiful in her newest photo. Why is nobody given this publicity? Oh, it's gotten plenty, trust me. Spare me. Online dating is like walking through a dangerous part of the worst city in the world at 4 a.m. Okay, I got a challenge to you. Set up a dating app. Meet somebody for coffee down at Starbucks. And tell me how that's the same as like the cartels in Mexico. Go walk through that area at 4 a.m. They love to ramp everything up. They have no idea, truthfully, what this world is about. These are angry, violent men everywhere. Stay off dating apps. Ursula. Okay, Ursula. And Big Mac says, not you again. That's it. 7 comments. Now they have a couple thousand, she has a couple thousand likes on each one. I think the most likes here are 2,700 likes, 7 comments, because there's no discussion to be had, you see. There's no discussion to be had. She doesn't want a discussion. I'll leave it with this. I've got more for you guys on locals. I got a lot more today for you guys on locals, but we're closing in on an hour here on YouTube. So I'll leave it at this YouTube. If you're not a member of the community, betterbachelor.locals.com, you can write paragraphs and post photos and links to videos in the comments to my videos. We have discussions. We have free speech. I am the only moderator over there, and I don't remove anything unless you're calling out for actually hurting people, and that doesn't happen over there. Why? Because we're a bunch of reasonable, like-minded men and a couple of ladies, many married, many dating, many single. It's a good community. Unlike, all the mommy parenting that YouTube does, we can actually have a good discussion over there, and it costs you like $4 a month to join, tons of people over there. So please join us over there. Tonight for YouTube, I will leave it with this for YouTube. I say controversial take. If you disagree, let me know down below. Now, this is a photo of Pierce Brosnan and his wife. This was when they got married. They've been together for 20 some odd years, and this is them now. He still looks dashing and very debonair, but he's also an actor still in the business. I forget this actress's name, but she definitely gained some weight, but she's also given him kids, and she's been a mother. And Pierce himself has said, she is the light of my life, she is my everything, and I love her more than anything. And she said the same about him. So I'll ask you, now you guys know I'm not into big girls. I'm not attracted to big girls. Big girls are not my thing. But let me ask you, if you married the woman on the left, and let's say, now I don't know their personal story, but I want you to go into imagination land. Let's say you're a young man. You meet the woman of your dreams. She gives her most precious gift, which is her love, her chastity, her faithfulness, and her body to you. And she gives you 2 children, and she raises them well, and she's a stay-at-home mom and takes care of the kids, and she still loves you and dotes on you and says that you make her happier in the world. At the age of 70, like Pierce is here in this photo, and she looks like this at the age of 60, is marriage okay? Because he says, your daily reminder to avoid marriage. And it's her gaining weight. Now, this is my argument. I said, this may be a controversial take. If you disagree, let me know down below. I said, if she was a virgin, is a good wife, gave you kids and raised them well, and gave you a fulfilling life in her best years, I think RX Red Pill is wrong. And that's describing the woman I just described. Now, maybe she's not like this, but I'm saying if she is these things, I think he's wrong. I think if she's hot and smoking hot when she's young and she gives you a couple kids and maybe she's a good cook and samples that food, and at 60, she looked like, at 60, let me open this image in a new tab here. At 60, I think this is when she was 60. Maybe she's a little younger here. She might be dyeing her. At 60, if she still looks like this, okay. Me personally, I think if she gave you a life of love and family and everything, and over the years, if you gain a pound or 2 every year for 20 or 25 years, that's 50 pounds. But I think if she gave her all her best years and all this good stuff, I give it a pass. Now, you could say to her, look, baby, I find you much more attractive when you're... But when you're 70 and 60, the bedroom is not the first priority. Love, having a good family, taking care of your kids, having somebody that's devoted to you is. But my counter-argument was, I said, however, since many women lie, they lie about their body counts, they lie about their past, they lie about dating. How many of you guys ever heard this one? All my previous boyfriends were horrible to me, but you're different. And then in the course of time, you find out she's a maniac, right? But I said, however, since many women lie about all the things, and they divorce men after a few years or several years, taking basically the golden parachute, while the courts overwhelmingly support women in divorce and child custody, and oftentimes taking away their kids so the woman can specifically get more child custody, He is, in fact, correct, just for a different reason. Therefore, I will also join him in saying, this is your daily reminder to avoid marriage. Men are avoiding marriage and relationships and women, and they're getting angry and they're getting frustrated because of many of the actions that women do. Some guys will lash out. Some guys will get very angry about it. I think that's wrong. I think that's like drinking poison to hurt the person that hates you. Let it go. Don't be angry over them. They don't care about you. You don't care about them. Just move on in life. They say something crazy, leave a remark like, I disagree, or here's my argument. But the Twitter flame wars and the trying to argue and going back, if you notice, I don't get into, on this post, I have 425 likes and 228 comments. And some of them in here are really horrible at me. Yeah, and because some people agree with me, but there's a lot of people here that would be like, dude, just end yourself. I wonder if I can find one. Some of them have been really crazy. But anyway, I don't go into the comments, see someone says bad take. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I know you can't see this. It's irrelevant. But the whole point is, having this anger in your heart or your frustration or taking it out on the women that don't behave or act the way that you want is a waste of your time. You're not going to change their minds. They're not going to change your mind. How can you be more proactive? How can you be a better person? How can you be a happier person? How can you be a more fulfilled person? Let this stuff go. If a woman's not in your deck of cards, now if you have cleaned yourself up and you've hit the gym and you've got a good physique and you're healthy and you're stylish and maybe ditched the glasses and got some contacts and dress nicely, and are comfortable in talking to women, I guarantee you're going to find some woman that finds you attractive. You will. Now, she may not be quite what you dream of, but you can find a woman. But if you haven't done all that, then it's not fair to say that you haven't been given a chance. But if you also say to yourself, that's a lot of work. I don't feel like doing all that work. That's a lot of effort for very low return, for very subpar women. If that's your answer, then my answer to you is simple. Go to the gym and get healthy. Have a good diet. Find friends. Find hobbies. Find a meaningful life. Donate some time. Donate your energy to other things. And I'll tell you something. You'll be the one having a happier life. The guys that are all in their little, corner of the web yelling at each other and screaming how awful the world is, it doesn't matter what they're yelling at, whether it's you're yelling at the government is awful, or you're yelling at Democrats are awful, or Republicans are awful, or women are awful, or men are awful. You're not going to have a happy life. You're just, you're having a circle jerk. You got to get out of that. Life is good. It really is. We're lucky to be here. We have a finite time finite time on this planet, and maybe who knows what we move on to. That's different for everybody. Make it mean something to you. Yelling at people who yell at you on the internet is not going to change anything. It's not going to improve anything. And I might go so far as to say it actually makes you look weak, because it makes it look like you care about somebody that doesn't know you and what their opinions are. I don't care what Jana's opinions are of me or men's groups. I honestly don't care. What I find interesting is she doesn't have an argument. She does ad hominem attacks. She wraps us all into one bubble and then throws it away like we're all awful people. She's the one that's losing out on the discussion. She's the one losing out on maybe opening her mind and her perspective to different ways in the world that might actually make her happier, because she's done all these years of sleeping with all these men and dating and all this stuff, and she keeps repeating the cycle. But don't tell me that the moment or the next couple of days after a guy, does the hardware store, screw nut bolt, and walks out, don't tell me she doesn't feel empty inside. Base that against someone like good old based Pierce Brosnan here, where, yeah, she's not a smoke show anymore. Women generally aren't at 60. but he's had, I don't know, 20, 25 years of love and children. And this is what those men want. They don't want women to get undressed. They don't want women to do all this stuff. They want to be loved. And what I try to tell you is the odds of you finding that love now from a good woman are minimal. So don't hang your hat on it. Don't throw your life away on that. Get a group of guy friends. Move on in life. But don't be angry. It doesn't get you anywhere. Find the good. And yeah, this is a little hippie-ish here, but you know, I get off the internet for a few days. I know my views plummet. You know, I'm dependent on both YouTube and locals for my income right now. I have some investments, but I'm burning a lot of them on the house. And every day you stay away from YouTube or stay away from making content, it's money lost. But there's also something important, which is money's not the end-all to be-all. It's important if you don't have it, for sure. You got to feed yourself. But if you can afford yourself those breaks to go out and touch grass and enjoy nature and go, you know, here I'm out in the country, and at night, last night it was cold. It was 21 degrees, and I went out to get some firewood, and freezing cold. And I just stood there for a minute staring at the sky, and since I'm so far away from the city, I can see so many more stars. Or you see the photographs of the Hubble telescope looking off into deep space, and those aren't stars, they're galaxies. Trillions of galaxies, just like the Milky Way, that has trillions and trillions of stars and trillions of planets. And you just think about that and how, where did it come from and how amazing it's all here. And you know, I know that sounds like something you'd start contemplating when you had a little bit of the doobage, you know what I mean? But I like to take those moments and reflect on life and how things are beautiful and things are awesome, because you got to get away from this poison after a while. Yes, it's my content. Yes, you like looking at it, but understand this is surface stuff. This isn't really meaningful to life. Jana yelling at us isn't meaningful. What matters is finding happiness, and you're not going to find that yelling at each other on the web. I think a lot of you guys know that, but I like to mention this every once in a while, just to don't take the black pill. You know what I mean? Don't do that yet. Lots more to go. I'm going to make this a super extra crispy long segment. So if you guys want to see the last, probably, I don't know, 10, 20, 15 minutes over, it's going to be over on betterbachelor.locals.com. You need an email to check it out. That's it. Sign up with your email, check it out. It's free to check out. And then if you want to support me and actually engage in the community and speak back and forth and read some of the other articles and comments, come over and become a supporter today. And we'll see you YouTubers in the next one.